Hello, I'm David Shieles. I was at the last meeting at the ABID-SHIELDS. As you well know, we're neighbors with Bill Burdick here, and we're also going to be exposed in close proximity to the proposed construction site of the Hillcrest Station. It's a pretty massive station from what I've read, as far as what its capacity is, and there's a lot of concern. I raised those concerns at the last meeting in regards to the emissions from the station and our daily breathing and toxins involved. I believe in your report you refer to these emissions are based on, of course, what the manufacturer would claim to be the emissions of these stations. So I went ahead and followed up on that report with Southwest Pennsylvania Health Project up there in the Northeast. This is the group that performed the study. And many think Dave Brown and his group, Celia, were the ones that actually performed the study. I got the chance to talk with them about the study. They're disturbed to hear that there will be a site coming in so close to us based on their results. And they said the primary reason why the emissions were so far off from the manufacturer's specification is their specification is an annual average of emissions. Takes not into account the actual peak of emissions. Kind of like an example during a blow-off or during equipment coming online and during different running periods. So the emissions will vary quite a bit. So, and a good analogy of that is like if I was a company XYZ and I was building a widget, and my widget, one of the things it put off was, say, carbon monoxide, right? And I have this widget in the house with me with my family. They would have to state that, and of course it would have to be at the right levels. Well, if they averaged that out over a year, what the emissions this widget would put out, and I was in there with my family, and say 30 times a year for just an hour, the peak emissions were bad enough it could kill someone or seriously injure them. Those are things that we have to take into account, especially in our proximity to the station. It's something that we just can't risk. Again, I told you that we're farmers. We do a lot of natural raising of animals. We have, a free-range poultry operation. And, poultry is very sensitive to gas and toxins. That's why they use canaries in the mines, so that people know when there's something dangerous. And so, I really ask that this study really be considered and look more in depth at the emissions of these stations. I just don't think they're documented enough. I don't think there's enough information to say for certain that it's going to be safe. I don't want our kids and my family to be the canaries in the mine, because that's going to be what it will be, and that's not acceptable to me. The risk is just too much. My family is just too important to me. We're going to move forward with the Southwest Pennsylvania Health Project to actually create a baseline study of the air quality prior construction, during construction, and post-construction. We're going to have sensors that close as 1,000 feet, all the way up to 2.5 miles in all directions. And so we're going to have a good baseline of what's really out there, what's happening. We're going to have devices that are going to vacuum air over a 24-hour period of time to actually sample what these emissions are putting out and what toxins are being exposed to. We're going to have particulate matter sensors that are going to gauge on an every minute basis of air particulate raises, so we know when there's plumes or there's exposures, and we know when to test the air for quality. So, this is something that we are going to do. We're going to follow up on. We're going to, the emissions better be in line, okay? And because I have my children here with me tonight. They've been very patient. And, I know Bill would love to have his family here, and there's another family that couldn't make it. And there's quite a few people on our street, a lot of us. This station is going to be within a half mile of 10 households. And it's just an unfettered risk. I just don't see it being a logical thing. And in closing, though, if this pipeline must happen, my children actually came up with a great idea. What you can do with it, we figured what we could do is use it to move orange juice from Central Florida to the rest of the country.